Hi, good afternoon, folks. And yes, quite an unscheduled, but I think an extremely important video. It's going to be very short also. With reference to the regulations that were passed last year around June, regulating COVID-19 in the workplace. If you scroll down on my newsfeed, you will find ample videos also in which I, at that point in time when they were promulgated, indicated to all the listeners and all the viewers and all the followers here, as well as government itself, as well as the CCMA, that those regulations were indeed illegal. There were a very good reason why. I'm just going to put off my own data feed. Otherwise, we're going to sit again with data breaks. Apologies for that. One of the reasons being that there was no public participation process whatsoever beforehand. You will also remember the whole debacle about the fake organization Business for South Africa, which I later on exposed as to be just that, a fake organization. It had no real substance in any of the existing business organizations in South Africa. It was just simply something made up by a few guys sitting on teams and trying to sound clever, with the greatest respect to those people. Okay, lots has happened in the meantime. You'll remember late last year, we came very close to lodging a case at that point in time at the Constitutional Court. Myself being part of an organization, and I would have been one of the parties of that case, the South African National Christian Forum. For some reason, we found it very strange. Constitutional Court would not take our case. We tried more than once to lodge the case, and every time, although they actually accepted and said we had quite a strong case, they wouldn't put the case on the roll, indicating to us we should go to High Court first and then go through the whole process of motion court, etc., until such time it reaches them. Of course, that would have taken months upon months, if not years. So we basically stopped that process. It was very clear it was not going to take off. In the meantime, everybody knows the journey that we took, where we very clearly and very specifically held the position always that whatever is on the so-called law books, the regulations relating to COVID was unlawful, it was unconstitutional, it could not be enforced. And that is why we fought it. In many workplaces, we were extremely successful in stopping the vast majority of workplaces that we intervened in. I calculate at least 3,000 to 5,000 jobs that were saved because of my own intervention in workplaces. We stopped big companies from implementing. I just received notice from Glencore not very long ago this morning that they are revisiting their whole policy, and it will most probably also be scrapped. And I can call out a few others. However, in the meantime, NEASA, National Employers Association of South Africa, Mr. Gerrit Papenfuss, you will know him also very well from the videos that I've shared of him on my feed. I know Gerrit personally. We've discussed this issue quite a few times. They lodged a case about 2 or 3 months ago at the High Court against government relating to certain of the regulations. And from him, as well as now confirmed from inside the ANC and government, I have the following news to break. Very early next week, a letter will be sent out in which the following acknowledgement will be made: that those regulations of June last year regulating COVID-19 in the workplace were indeed unconstitutional. This letter will be sent out on behalf of the government by the State's Attorney's Office, in which the acknowledgement is made. Furthermore, the Department of Labour, through its minister, very clearly indicated that itself, as well as the other ministries, departments of state who were involved has no other choice but to repeal anything and everything related to those original regulations of last year, and that they were indeed acting outside the bounds of the Constitution. I have been validated, and everybody fighting this has been validated. It was unconstitutional from word go. So everything that happened in terms of those regulations, prima facie, seems to have been unlawful, illegal, and unconstitutional. I think the whole house of cards is about to come tumbling down. Everything that happened since last year, June, in terms of those regulations, all the policies, all the assessments, all the risk assessments, all the dismissals, all the closures of businesses, seems to have been made on unconstitutional and illegal regulations. As I always held, that was my position as from word go, and that is why we fought the battle that we fought. Here's the effect of it. And I am inviting everybody now that have been dismissed from your duties, were put on so-called special leave, that was actually unfair suspension, so you lost income. All businessmen who were affected, especially those contractors to the big blue chip companies, mines, etc. I know of many business closures because of what happened. I invite anybody and everybody that were affected by the regulations as promulgated last year, June, regulating COVID in the workplace, to come into contact with me without delay. We have teams of lawyers now standing by, and you know about those too, that are very willing and able to take on these cases, because everything coming from those regulations were unfair, were illegal, and therefore if you suffered any loss or damage because of it, it means that you are now in a position where you can claim for that against government. Yes, we are folding the system inside out now. We're going to go after the state, go after the government on every single one of those cases that you can bring to me. skalkvandermerwe.com. You'll find my webpage very accessible. skalkvandermerwe.com. You can send an email to ccmalitigation@gmail.com. You can send one to skalk.slsgroup@gmail.com. Please come into contact with me. My WhatsApp number, my business number, 073-437-8187. I'm saying that again, 073-437-8187. Business WhatsApp. Don't call me. I'm not going to answer. Send to WhatsApp. Businessmen, employees, anybody affected by these regulations. We want to start litigation, and we want to start it as quick as possible. I have teams of legal professionals already sitting ready to go to the battlegrounds. We are going to basically sue the state bankrupt now. We're going to empty the treasury. We're going to fold the system. And those big businesses who made themselves guilty of promulgating policies that filter down to smaller businesses, you're in next. We're going to sue you too. We're basically going to fold, as I said, the system in its totality because of what happened here. Small error, big effect. I want you, and I want you amply. And therefore, I have no qualms about what I'm about to launch here. So I confirm in next week we will receive written confirmation from government itself as an acknowledgement that the promulgation of the regulations last year of COVID-19 in the workplace were done unconstitutionally. They have no grounds in law to stand on it. They can't even go and defend it in court. And therefore, everything stemming from it was illegal and constitutional. And if damage or loss incurred because of that, then of course you can claim for it. Please come into contact with me. I think this is most probably the most important video that you will see in your life, in our lifetime at this point in time. I cannot foresee that the state as we know it today will survive the onslaught that is now coming to them. I cannot foresee that big business, and especially those that formed part of the so-called Business for South Africa group, the fake group I referred to yesterday also, that was exposed as fake, any of those will stand this onslaught on them. You didn't listen, guys. You were warned, but you didn't listen. You just simply kept on moving. Those attorneys firms who gave wrong advice, those consultancy firms giving wrong advice, CSR specifically, I'm speaking about you, be aware that you will also be added as defendants to any case that comes up and is lodged against state or business. So be advised to that effect. Please come into contact with me. As I said, we're going to fill the system now because of the error the government made last year, which they were warned about, but they did not respond positively to. With a very big smile, I'm signing off. I'm speaking to clients now in a Zoom meeting. I don't think they're aware of exactly what I'm going to say to them in that meeting. Yes, CCMA, take note. All the awards, those six, 7 awards that were made against employees, all of them invalid. All of them will be challenged at Labour Court. I can foresee already that all of them will be won at Labour Court. And please, commissioners at CCMA, take note of the invalidity and the unconstitutionality of the regulations in terms of which employees are being dismissed and suspended unfairly from their workplaces, and they have been for pretty much 1 year preceding today's video broadcast. Thank you, and have a tremendous day. I will see you later, and I salute you guys. The whole house of cards is coming down. The whole system is being folded from the inside out.